Hi, and welcome back to The Productive Entrepreneur, helping you get organized, get productive, and make more profit. This lecture is entitled Your Morning Routine. And we kick off this lecture with a great quote from Andre D. Wagner, who is a New York photographer. And he says, "When I'm waking up, I like to keep a space for my own thoughts and ideas. Checking my phone is not a priority for me." And that's a great quote to open up this lecture, because that kind of sentiment and that thought flows through this entire lecture. I used to never believe in a morning routine. My mornings were usually very simple. Wake up, shower, dress, and go to work. But if you wake up without a morning routine or without a plan, you might wake up unmotivated, lethargic, with a lack of sleep from the night before, from a bad night's sleep from the night before, and you carry those things with you throughout the day. So a lack of motivation in the morning will still be with you midday and late into the afternoon. So since reading The Morning Routine by Hal Elrod, I have come to realize that mornings are one of the most important parts of my day, and that by having a morning routine, I have started to slowly but surely change my life and carry the positives from the morning that I get from my routine with me throughout the rest of the day. So in Hal's book, The Morning Miracle, he recommends the following routine. Silence. By this he means meditation, prayer, reflection, or taking time for gratitude. So the choice is up to you. For me, I meditate. His next tip is affirmations. Write down some affirmations that you can say aloud to yourself every morning. I use a mix of my own and those used by Leonardo da Vinci, which I've included in the resource section. Hal's next tip is visualization. Successful people all over the world have used visualizations to help them, not only in business but in sports too. I have a visualization file saved in Evernote, and in it I put things that I would someday like to do or have. It could be a visit to a foreign country, it might be a car, it might be a book I'd like to read. Whatever I would like to do someday, I put into my visualization folder, and I review it every morning. Next comes exercise. Now, I used to think that exercise in the morning meant a 45-minute gym busting session, but that's not what your morning routine is about. Exercise in the morning is a 10-15 minute routine of stretches, some push-ups, some sit-ups. Something small, just enough to get the blood pumping. So the choice is up to you. Next comes reading. Every morning I read something that is relevant to my day ahead or to my most important task for the day ahead. So, for example, at the moment I'm reading The One Thing, which is related to productivity. So my reading choices in the morning are usually relevant to what I have going on in my life at that time. Finally, Hal recommends scribing, or simply writing your thoughts down. I have found that this is an excellent way to deal with the stresses in my life and helping to get the thoughts out of my head. All of these tips combined together, Hal calls savers. Some people call their morning hours the golden hours. And this is very true. It's a time just for you. The world is still asleep. There are no emails or phone calls, leaving you free to get stuff that's important to you done. Now, don't get me wrong. In the beginning, setting up, establishing and continuing a morning routine is very difficult to do. I'm still not yet waking up like the morning guy from Friends, singing and bursting with life, but I am getting there. And with a simple morning routine, you can too. In fact, having a morning routine is one of the key factors of success for the world's wealthiest and most productive people. In Ireland, there is an entrepreneur named Bill Cullen. He is best known for being the face of The Apprentice, the TV show. He tells a story that goes a little something like this. Once he paid a lot of money to go to a success summit in Las Vegas, run by an incredibly successful entrepreneur who promised to share with his audience his secret to becoming successful and wealthy. As Bill sat in the audience, the lights dimmed and a hush fell over the room. Smoke began to rise from the stage and loud, inspiring music burst from the speakers. After a minute or two, from the roof of the stage, a large neon sign came down displaying one simple message. Wake up earlier. When the entrepreneur came on stage and asked for questions, Bill put up his hand and asked, "Is that it? My mother has been telling me to wake up early for years if I want to be successful and rich." The entrepreneur replied, "Are you rich?" To which Bill had no choice but to say, "Well, yes, I am." "Well then," said the entrepreneur, This simple story should tell you one thing which is very true. Some of the most successful and productive people in the world get up early. You often hear productivity experts asking, what would you do with an extra hour or two every day? Well, waking up early and having routine is how you get those extra hours every day. For me, getting up early is time to work on what is most important to me. I take a tremendous amount of confidence into the rest of the day, knowing that by the time most people wake up, I have already done my morning routine and worked on my most important task. Here is my simple morning routine, which you can adapt and use for yourself. I wake up early. I use an app called Sleep Cycle Alarm Clock to wake me up. I brush my teeth. For me, in the morning, nothing feels right until I brush my teeth. Now, I know that this may sound trivial, and it is to most people, but whatever you find adds a benefit to your morning, add it into your routine. It might be something as trivial as brushing your teeth. Whatever it is, if you think it's of benefit, add it in. It doesn't matter. I drink some water. This is so important. After a long night's sleep, your body is dehydrated. A nice cold drink of water first thing in the morning will really get you going. I then eat a healthy breakfast. Usually it's porridge or some kind of yogurt and granola mix. I meditate. To help me with this, I use an app called Headspace. Within the app, there are various settings that you can select that are related to what's going on in your life right now. So if you wanted to meditate and improve your focus, there's a setting for that. If you want to meditate and improve your relationships, there's a setting for that. Whatever's going on in your life, there's a session within Headspace to help you out. The first few sessions within Headspace are free. After that, you have to pay a monthly fee. I read something relevant to my business or related to my most important tasks of the day. So as I said, at the moment, I'm reading a productivity book. Sometimes it might be a biography. Whatever it is, it's a piece of non-fiction related to what's going on in my life. And it's always something uplifting and inspiring and designed to help me throughout the day. I write down some thoughts and previous day's events in a journal. This is a great way to clear your head of any distracting thoughts from yesterday or the few days beforehand and clear your head for what's coming up. And if I haven't done so already, I identify and write down my most important task of the day so I know where my focus has to be. And that's it. Nothing more than going to bed and waking up early with a bit of a routine. Many productive tips and tricks recommend a time limit for your morning routine. 7 minutes, 24 minutes, 60 minutes. For the beginning, I wouldn't bother with this. Establish a routine, follow it, and improve it as you go. You'll find that over time, things get a little bit quicker. As you get more into your routine, more into the habits, things just start to naturally flow. So don't worry about stressing yourself out with a time limit in the very beginning. And one last tip. If you usually wake up at 8 o'clock every morning, don't try and wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Instead, ease into it. Go to bed 30 minutes earlier tonight and wake up 30 minutes earlier tomorrow morning. And as always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me in the discussion section of this lecture. Thank you.